You know who it is, and you know what time it is. Time to piss off some feminists, trad cucks, and whoever don't want to know the truth. Oh well, let's get started. What is going on, gents? It's RPM here, reporting from Mobile Command. Gentlemen, before I get into this article, I have to ask an extremely rhetorical question. This is going to be particularly aimed at you younger men who might come across this video. If marriage is still something that society wants to push onto men, then why would sites like Ashley Madison exist? Yes, it's an extremely rhetorical question. Gentlemen, younger men, do not get married. The failure rate is extremely high. The infidelity rate is extremely high. You are guaranteed to fail at this, so don't do it. But with that being said, let's take a dive into this article that I saw on Yahoo that was published on the 29th of September. Cheating has gone into overdrive after slowing at the start of the pandemic, according to infidelity dating app Ashley Madison. Yeah. Ashley Madison, a dating site made to help people cheat, released its Love Beyond Lockdown report on Tuesday. The report found the pandemic has given people more reason to cheat, fueled by lockdown frustration with their spouse, a lack of intimacy, and more. Oh yeah, gentlemen. Oh yeah. The pandemic has definitely shown you just how weak the foundation of marriage truly is. According to the report, most cheating has gone virtual, but some are still meeting up with new affair partners in person. The increase in infidelity among its members comes after an initial 10% dip in membership signups at the beginning of the U.S.'s lockdown in mid-March. Between early March and early April this year, Ashley Madison, a dating site for people to have affairs, saw a 10% dip in membership. It coincided with the plandemic being declared a pandemic, lockdowns across the U.S., widespread anxiety, and a sudden shift in the way we lived. It put the classic setting for an affair, an in-person rendezvous, out of the question. However, according to a new report conducted by the platform Love Beyond Lockdown, people have become increasingly creative, and demand for extramarital affairs has been climbing. Once again, I ask you, why get married in this day and age? The report released Tuesday found the dip in signups appears to have only been a momentary blip. People are back to cheating as normal. They're just changing their excuses. A majority of all users said their spouse didn't want to have sex during the lockdown. Oh yeah. I've actually did a couple of HMTs to where that was the case. The man was not getting sex and he flipped out. He snapped. Yeah, that does happen. The report draws its findings from 6 questionnaires surveying a total of 12,000 users, equally split between new and existing users. 53% of them said they had never spent so much time around their spouse as they were forced to when shelter-in-place orders were brought in March. That right there is another huge reason why marriages are failing at an even greater rate. The constant moving of the two people, going to and from work, barely seeing each other, and yet they thought that marriage was a good thing until this. Once they really started to get to know each other, they realized that they in fact hated each other, which leads to more infidelity. But you would think that during all of this, somehow there would be something in place to make divorce easier. Because when it comes to men being caught cheating, it's you should have kept it in your pants. You should have never got married. Blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to wives being caught cheating, it's still the man's fault. Gentlemen, this is definitely going to be another topic for another video that I'm going to do soon. Never take blame for the actions of your woman. Scratch that. Of the woman in your life, because she's never yours. It's just your turn, even in marriage. Anyway, the lack of private time outside the home, and the inability to see friends has caused tension in many marriages, driving them to Ashley Madison to seek out extramarital affairs. Oh man, I tell you, is marriage really a good thing? No. 60% of users surveyed, all of whom were married or have a significant other, i.e. a long-term non-marriage, so I'm not really going to count that as being legally married. So we're going to focus on the married people. Said their partner didn't initiate sex once from mid-March until early September, which 25% of all users surveyed found to be the most distressing part of the pandemic. It was for that reason that 76% of all users decided to actively give up on their quote-unquote dead bedroom and seek romantic fulfillment elsewhere. Yes, gentlemen, yes. If you get married, there is a 99.9% chance you will end up with a dead bedroom. So, gentlemen, once again, a lot of men get married with the intention of having a permanent in-house sexual partner. No, that is not the case. Time will change both of you. Your tastes will eventually change. And the fact of this pandemic showed you just how fragile the foundation of marriage truly is, as I said before. So no, gentlemen, if you're trying to get married thinking that you're going to lock down a woman for in-house sex, that's the wrong reason. Don't do it. You are setting yourself up for failure. Anyway, when sex is so important yet so unattainable within a marriage, individuals will inevitably find a workaround, be it alone or with someone other than their spouse, the report said. See, that right there is very powerful, yet very telling. The pandemic hasn't stopped people from cheating, and 74% of users say they will continue to have in-person affairs after the pandemic. People have moved their cheating online, swapping excuses like business trips for "I'm busy with work." Prior to the pandemic, people were able to maintain their affairs by taking business trips, using nights out with friends as a cover, or just being out and about. And also, don't forget the gym, because yes, gyms became a major hunting ground, particularly for women. With the pandemic making casual travel and even nights out next to impossible, people have gotten creative with their excuses. Like singles trying to use dating apps to meet new people and vetting potential dates for their safety practices on Zoom, married daters have taken their affairs online. About 40% of users blame working for their extramarital computer time. Oh, I'm at work, but yet I'm still, vetting out this potential, extra partner. For those trying to meet affair partners in person, their excuses have changed to fit our pandemic warped world, with 25% blaming leaving their house for meetups on walks, bike rides, and trips to the store. Oh, man. Gentlemen, do you still want to get married after this? No. Wow, you can't make this up. While many have taken their affairs safely online, those meeting in person now have stricter guidelines. For those who are physically intimate, 55% say they plan on limiting themselves to one affair partner during the duration of the pandemic. Oh, ain't that so nice? I'm just going to limit my carousel riding to only one guy. Yeah, right. No. Wow. Ashley Madison expects cheating to rise as pandemic lockdowns tighten. Paul Keeble, Chief Strategy Officer of Ashley Madison, told Insider that during the spike in divorce rates across the country at the height of the lockdown, members were not discussing divorce. Most of the users surveyed, Kimball said, had no plans to leave their partners or spouses, but were keen to see other people. Now, gentlemen, what does that sound like? If you are a man who is doing right by your woman and she is still cheating on you, what does that mean? You are nothing more than a security net for her. Now, what does that mean for a man that's stepping out on his wife? That means he knows that he's going to be held responsible, i.e., the family court, regardless. So, if you're on both sides of the equation as a man, it's still going to be made to be your fault by society, and you're still going to be made to pay. Once again, gentlemen, I ask you, is getting married worth all of this? No, it is not. Don't do it. That, Keeble said, is valuable information for couples heading into winter, as the rates of the pandemic are expected to rise and lockdown measures will surely be heightened. Oh, yeah. And guess what that's going to coincide with, gentlemen? Cuffing season. The report suggests all aspects of the tight lockdown measures, stress, lower sex drive, more time indoors, will create a fertile ground for cheating. It's likely the same will be true this winter. While the data we've gathered and laid out in this report is telling of infidelity's role in high-stress environments, it's also indicative of what married individuals or married couples should keep in mind with a second wave just around the corner in many countries, Keeble said. So, once again, I ask you the extremely rhetorical question for you gentlemen out there. Why get married if you know it's going to eventually lead to cheating and a dead bedroom? Why? Why? Now, I've made this crystal clear from my own opinion. Of course, yours will vary. However, when it comes to men, married men who end up in a dead bedroom situation in which you're going to be blamed for it anyway, then yes, I say once your wife has cut the sex spigot off, do not be secretive about it. You let her know up front, you're not putting out for me, you're not providing for me sexually, I'm going to seek it out elsewhere. Women of today have no problems talking about infidelity. Wives have no problem talking about infidelity. Once again, we got to go back to the well of Jada and Will. Yeah, you have women out here talking about entanglements left and right. So, two can play that game. I will never, ever look down on a married man who has tried everything to get his wife to put out. Now, marital rape is a thing. Don't do that. But if your wife is not putting out for you sexually, then by all means, I say go for it. Get you a properly vetted side chick. Now, this is something else that's very interesting. Men versus women and infidelity. Men, by our very nature, are naturally polygamist. We are. There are more women out there in the world than there are men. So let's go ahead and put that on the table. That is a known fact. So the idea that a man should be legally bound to one woman, I think that is absolute garbage. It's been proven to be a failure, and a site like this proves that monogamy is in fact a failure when it comes to men. Women, on the other hand, they should be monogamous. Why? Because of the consequences that they can incur. A married woman can go out, get knocked up by somebody else, and bring home a baby. That right there is the simplest reason why women should not step out on their marriage. But, gentlemen, we have a society that has so mentally brainwashed us men into looking the other direction. No. Mm-mm. 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 But that is a decision, if you're married, that you have to make for yourself. But how do you avoid all of this? Don't get married. It's just that simple, gentlemen. You still have young men who are being pressured into marriage by their older relatives. And they're like, why? Why? Marriage is a failed institution. It just needs to go ahead and die out. Women have already made it pretty blatantly and crystal clear. They're not seeking marriage for the reasons that they normally would. They're only seeking marriage as a security blanket. Nothing more, nothing less. Men, you seek marriage because you want to have a stable sexual partner. It's not going to happen. Give up that dream. But with that being said, gentlemen, read the article. Let me know what you guys think. And ladies, the power is still metaphorically out. Feminism, it's going to eventually get that knockout blow and go right along with it. However, the sexual liberation that you enjoy, that's giving way to a lot of marital infidelity, yeah, that's going to eventually go out right along with it. Because don't be surprised if Leviticus 20:10 starts to happen. And you guys know I did a video on that. That's all I got to say for this one. RPM, I am